working. What I gotta do, I gotta unplug this power strip. And we're gonna give this is like a big old gamble right now. So this is gonna be so tricky. That's not gonna be enough. So I'm stick in here, getting nervous now. Starting just where we left off yesterday, me being freaking nervous about this glue gun. That much glue, there's no freaking way, dude. There's just no way. Has to be a better way than that. Come on. I'm gonna give up. Nah, we're gonna have to come back for this. I think I could have done it if I had a working glue gun. I'm gonna pull this off though. It's gonna mess the skull up. It's the glue gun, I can tell you for sure. $2 item will mess up something really important, so we're gonna stop this. Sucks. So you just had a better glue gun. How's everybody doing? Welcome. Welcome. Yeah, European style mount was what I was trying here, but my second deer skull. I wish they would shut that shit up, man. Really, I really wish they would. Like, I don't give a fuck how loud your car is. Like, it doesn't add any masculinity to my assessment of you. Anyway, so that it's basically the skull is kind of held on by friction and hot glue. Now, it's not exactly the way that I was taught how to do it. You basically take the base of the skull out and create a wooden plate that's hot glued into the base of the skull. Then you dowel that on, and probably if Oak Ridge was here, he would probably vouch for that. But what's going to happen with this, so you can see what it's supposed to look like before I go and unplug that glue gun, is you're supposed to have the larger skull mounted here above the smaller skull on this live edge slab, which I think is a unique way to mount up two skulls. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. But I have other stuff to do on the live, so I won't obsess on that. I also have vowed to myself that I'll take a few minutes and chill. And let me say hi to everybody here before I lose everybody. They're so freaking skittish on YouTube, man. Namaste, Mukesh. Welcome, Rob. Welcome. Plywood Tom, welcome. Sorry if I missed y'all, man. I apologize. I was trying to get myself straight in here, man. But good afternoon, Tom. Good afternoon, Rob, Miss Heather. Um, and hey there, what's up, Oak Ridge? Yeah, man, I was working on this European style mountain. I know I'm not doing it exactly right, but I'm glad I have you in here. Because what I would like to do with this mount would be do the wooden plate in the base of the skull. But instead, I'm using a dowel and friction. And you probably, I don't know if you mess with this, is a little experimental, but I've got this little spike skull here on the bottom. And then this one was going to mount my top skull, but right now my glue gun's not cooperating with me. It's basically hot glue and prayers that holds it on. Also, wood glue holds a dowel in. But probably if it was mounted, if the deer's spinal column was the other shape, I could probably arrange it so they're a little safer. But this one's on pretty strong. So what I'm trying to do is get the other one on this live edge cherry slab that I got. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Pelado. Weird. I clicked into the live and didn't display the chat at all. Backed out and returned a couple times, and finally the chat showed up. You know, it does that sometimes, man. It does that sometimes. Yeah, this little spike, and then that gnarly 10-pointer I got from back in the day with the asymmetrical antler rack will be the top one here. So it's gonna be like this, teeth down, right? That's the goal here, as you can see. Right? That's what I'm trying to do with this mount. Not a taxidermist though, Oak Ridge is. He can give me tips. Yeah, it's different, a little different. I know Heather likes it, so she would be. If Heather will put it on her wall, then I'm willing to do it. I messed up this with my Forstner bit a little bit, but I'll sand down the slab too. I got the slab from the Eastern Shore, not far from where you're at, uh, Oak Ridge. So yeah, you know, little homemade stuff. Try to use local stuff, local deer, local wood. It's from a big cherry tree out on the Eastern Shore. Glad everybody's here to hang out. Glad I got you here. Keep the flies off my drinks. Now the next thing I need to do, this right here, is first and second boil oak not burrows, oak galls. This is tannic liquor from oak galls. It's really way stronger than it looks. It's got a ton of tannic acid in it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna tan my squirrels in it for a little bit. But before that, I gotta actually brine or pickle a couple of hides. I got this one that needs to be pickled. This one that needs to be pickled. These other ones that have been tanned and alum, I'm gonna re-tan these and moisturize these today. These will go into this. I'm gonna dilute it a little bit for a couple days. And the reason I want to do that is because right now, having been tanned, the fur is liable to slip if they're rehydrated. So what I want to do now is preserve them by tanning them with bark liquor, in this case, oak gall liquor, and then I'll be ready to make them into a hat. Well, think about that, and that rhymes. Hey, Kevin. Seeing ghosts. So I'm gonna mix up a quick pickle in here and throw these ones that have just been cleaned, that I just killed, harvested. Throw them in here. I got some other ones drying, but let me get this stuff ready. Oh, that looks bad. We gotta get some different water. I'm not that worried about the water if it's gonna get acidified. Give it a couple days in here, even if they get ruined. Kevin L said, "Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, Buckskin Cow, Miss Heather, Cedar, Pelado, Plywood, Rob, and also I believe Oak Ridge is in the house too." He may be gone by now. I know he has to work and stuff. So I double tap that screen. Sometimes it takes us a little while to warm up. I understand that. I'm not gonna get mad at the world. They want to see if I get mad at them. I'm not getting mad at you, YouTube. You do what you got to do, man. Do what you got to do. All right, let me see. This is about half a gallon of water. So let me look up a recipe real quick. I'll say for 1, 2, 3, 4 squirrel hides pre-tan. I need a pickle recipe. I always have to look them up. I got citric acid here. 1.5 ounces citric acid, 2 gallons of water, 2 pounds of salt. That's a lot of salt. I got 1 pound here. Definitely got 1.5 ounces of citric acid. Probably got a pound of salt here, or half a pound. You can wing it. Stir it up. I'm not going to leave them in this more than a day. I just want to pickle them a little bit. And I also don't want this to turn, I don't want the pH to change. It's probably already a little wonky because I'm using rainwater. So when you're dumping the whole salt thing in, you just rip the top off, man. We're dumping it all slow. I'm going to put a little more water in here too. Non-iodized salt. That's a pound. And then did I throw that other bag in there? Yeah, I did. So that's basically 2 pounds of salt right there. We're going to eyeball the citric acid a little bit. All right, sorry guys. All right, citric acid. We're going to eyeball this a little bit too. Nothing happy, that's not very much. And a little more for security. Wing that a little bit. Eyeballed that a little bit. Hey, how's everybody doing? My name's Calvin. Right now, we're tanning. This is Dad's workshop tanning mode. I need like one of them bamboo skewers so that I can stir this around. Get it up. That might work, but I gotta use disposable. We got to stir this until it's fully diluted. Is that not diluted? Excuse me. Fully. What's the word I'm looking for? When water and whatever you call it. Cedar, welcome. Sorry if I didn't say your name, buddy. Oh, he says he has to go because cheese sandwiches are required. I'll probably add a little water to this. I'll back it up so y'all can see. I'm just stirring a 5-gallon bucket. No big deal, right? Calvin, is a pickling solution than what you call fat liquor? Different. Totally different. Pickling solution is a pre-tan solution that actually, I guess it's hygroscopic, so it sucks all of the current water molecules kind of away from the, I'm not going to try to describe it by chemically, but it opens up those pores so that it'll accept tannic acid and stuff like that. Also preserves and locks in the hair. So if you're trying to do hair on, pickle is really, really important. I learned from Oak Ridge and from Critter Getter that most trappers don't pickle before they ship to the tanning to the tanner. And most most people who trap, like your Critter Getters of the world, Do not, they just gut the animal and take the skin inside out and dry it, which is risky because, I mean, traditionally risky because your hair will fall out if it gets warm. But if you're selling all your hides before the warm weather comes in anyways, or you're giving them to a tanner to the tanner to take care of, then you don't have to worry about that. And most of those guys are shipping everything away to tan. Yeah, and this is a little bit water starved. I need to add a little water to this. I'm gonna go grab like a bucket full of rainwater and add it to this. It needs about 2 gallons of water. Right now, it's only got like maybe 3/4 of a gallon, so I'm gonna add quite a bit of rainwater here. We're gonna add it to our mixture. We're gonna mix it up, and then we're just gonna add these hides in here. I'm gonna leave them in there for 1 day. These ones I just harvested these squirrels. Private land hunts, Virginia, legal. All right. All right, where did my stir stick go, y'all? Oh, I set it over here. If Heather gets a chance, could you put a poll in the bottom of that screen, create a little interaction, man? I just feel like these lives are just me talking to my damn self. I guess I could do it, but I also got to run the live. Thanks. Appreciate it, everybody. Kevin else said that's all I did too. Just clean the hide, get all the fat and meat off, and let it dry. Fire was in Colorado, so I would ship dry ice from Oklahoma to keep cold. Yeah, that makes sense actually. That makes sense. You know, a lot of places I used to buy dry ice and look for the places selling it. It's interesting. It's kind of hard to find now. I think it's more expensive to keep, and so they don't want to sell it. But yeah, some ways that's the only way to like keep stuff cold, especially stuff that needs to stay sub-freezing. Oh, no, I just got that. Don't do that. All right, I'll show y'all what this looks like. It looks like some lemonade, right? It's not cleanest water in the world. It's rainwater. It doesn't need to be clean, really. This is salted, right? We're just gonna go ahead and take this squirrel that's been salted and pinned down on the board. We're gonna put that in. We're gonna take this has been salted. I actually scraped this one again after it, so this is gonna go in because that's never been tanned either. I like to pickle these other ones, but I don't want to waste time doing that. I should probably clean my eye out, y'all. I just got citric acid in my eye. I got nothing but rainwater out here. I'll be right back. I gotta rinse my eye out, y'all. I'm sorry. Food safe citric acid, so it's unlikely I want to, enough of anything. My lye is food safe lye, but if you get that on you, you're in trouble too. So, all right, beautiful day here. I hope it's as nice it is here. There, wishing you the greatest days. So let me get this stick and push these. I might just take these other pelts and put them in there too, because going through a pickle again might soften them up. So when I put them in the just a day of pickling, maybe I just don't want to mess them up. This one. These are all pretty nicely soft tan, so but I'll throw them in, get them moisturized so that they'll be ready to do the tan bit. And then I got two more that are just skinned. Like total like 8 or 9 in here. Wes does it, welcome. Alrighty, I got one little bitty one here. And one more that's pinned to this board. Large one. Alrighty. Sorry, I hit the microphone against that thing. I apologize. Occasionally I'm clumsy enough to do that. Alright, we got about 8 or 9. I didn't really count. Squirrel hides in there. They're just in the pickle. I've already tanned some of them, but they're not tanned with anything that's going to preserve them in a water situation. So hopefully this is okay. I'm only going to put them in this pickle overnight, and then tomorrow I will take this, which is oak gall. I've boiled oak galls twice. This is the tannic liquor that I got from them. They will go in a diluted version of this for a few days, and then I will start drying them to make the hat, etc., all of that cool stuff. But let's put those aside for a minute. Hope I didn't mess nothing up. I did kind of eyeball that citric acid a little bit. Well, literally too. I eyeballed it and I got it in my eyeball. Literally and figuratively, I eyeballed it. Let me move this camera back up. Get my drink for a second. Just sit down with y'all. Just hang out with me for a second. Sorry, my inhaler. You may call it, some may call it that. So, let's get my hat mold that I fixed over here. Show you what I did. reduced my size of my hat mold so that I can make more accurate hats. It was a little bit too big. Yesterday, you saw I put on this deer button right here. Doing big things in the workshop here. We're always doing big things in the workshop. Soldier Farms, welcome, man. It's been a minute. I've been seeing you've been growing very fast, working real hard on that channel. That's good, and at a tough time too. What I would consider a tough time. Some folks are thriving right now, so I guess it's all relative. A couple things I need to do on this hat. I need to put another button on this side, like I gotta do the same thing I did over here, which requires me cutting another piece of antler and getting my holes drilled in the right spots. And then I gotta stitch some spots. Oh, I gotta keep doing my circumferential what do you call that? Whip stitch around. Man, those look really bad. But we'll just seek to improve, because that's all you can do in this world. Just try to get better at stuff. What do y'all think about that? Seek to improve. Get a little piece of antler bone. I got it over here. I might actually use, and it's tricky to actually drill this because I can't secure my workpiece either. It makes it a little bit on the tricky side. I gotta like hold the piece while I drill it. I guess if I get injured like that, I should do it on a live stream, you know. It may bump the views a little. No, I'm not trying to do that. This is the piece of antler I'm working with here because on this side, I actually made the buttonhole a little bit small, so I had to use a smaller piece of antler. So just to make it symmetrical, we'll use another piece, and I got one hole drilled in here. I need to find my bit I was using for that. Got some salt here unaccounted for. And then I got to just see what y'all are talking about because that's important. Stop whatever I'm doing, Wes. I guess I can't fix a signature request issue for my client now. Hope they'll understand even if I didn't. Stop everything I'm doing. Pilato, whatever you are doing, stop it. There you go. It's Pilato's fault. Oh, that's what it is. How do we not know this the entire time this was going on? How did we not come to that conclusion way a long time ago? Way a long time ago, you know? It's the easiest, you know, what do they call that? Occam's razor? Isn't the easiest explanation usually the one that makes sense? In this case, the easiest explanation is that it's Pilato's fault, you know? Y'all see how I did that? Start slow. I mean, they're not beautiful, but it is going to work as a button. Just start slow. I didn't bust through or break out, so you know, just make sure if you're drilling antler, start with a slow speed. You won't blow it out as easily. The Mikado 16, I couldn't get a taxidermy from my 2 squirrels. They backed. Oh no, just 2 squirrels? Yeah, no, you can do it, man. You can do that stuff yourself. Just 2 little baby squirrels. Though it's careful taxidermy for, and I don't know if Oak Ridge is in here. Maybe Oak Ridge will take your squirrels for a pretty penny. That's my bandsaw, ladies and gentlemen. Cutting that piece of antler for me for this button over here. It's slightly smaller than this one, but it's all right. It's gonna do. These make really cool buttons. So we'll do the same thing. We'll stitch a needle on two ends, but we got to start by taking a chisel. I'll turn this around to the side so y'all can see this better, and I'll turn it down. Why am I getting like, why do I like the smell of like burning bone now? Is there something wrong with me? It is normally Palado's fault. That is correct. I will affirm that. It is normally his fault. Now, let's get some work done on this thing if we can do it properly here. On this side, you can see I just used a button stitch, and I don't know if that's working or not. Actually, it looks a little loose, tied off, and you know I've had my struggles with that if you've been watching my live stream. We're gonna put it about right here, which means that that button needs to be, the buttonhole needs to be, this needs to all be stitched too, because this random piece of buckskin I put in here has to be, I gotta go be consistent. So this buttonhole, I might put it lower, make it asymmetrical, but it'll be in a more secure spot if I put it lower. Maybe back a little bit. Otherwise, it'll have to go like right in the middle of that patch. Dude, I'm glad you're accountable, Pilato. That's what this world is all about, you know? That's what growing up is all about, Pilato, is taking responsibility. You know, being accountable when you lose other people's stuff 2,000, 3,000 miles away. It's not a good thing to deflect responsibility to someone else, you know? It's just the best thing that you can do is to just bite the bullet and just say, look, it was my fault. Despite the fact that it's a physical impossibility that I moved their stuff, I need to own this, sit in this, and just accept the fact that, you know, it was my fault, basically. You don't need to explain. Let's not overthink it. That is crazy, Mikado. A whole year waiting list. Well, email me, you know. I don't know. You're trying to get these taxidermy squirrels in pose or something? You're trying to get them in pose? Like into an actual squirrel pose? Because that, I wouldn't do that. That's a Oak Ridge taxidermy thing. He knows how to do all that stuff. Or are you just trying to get the hides? Because I do know how to tan squirrel pretty well. I'm pretty good at it. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's complicated. And they're little, so it's probably even more complicated, man. Yeah. Maybe Oak Ridge, if he's in the chat, he can talk about how much he would charge for such a thing, and everyone can get their mind blown. If Oak Ridge is still here just by luck, I'm not expecting him to be. I know he's a working man, like a lot of us are. You guys got to pay attention to your jobs. But I'm saying, if he's still in the building, let me know what you would charge to mount 2 squirrels on a log in pose. Oh, Cedar's back in. Yeah, 800 sounds like a good price. I'm just thinking of the amount of time it would take for that. I would probably have to carve those forms myself. Yeah. That sounds reasonable actually. Under 1,000, they placed it under 1,000. I would think like for the time it would take me to do that and get them perfectly, it would be over 1,000. Yeah, it would be over 1,000 for me. Because I don't really know how to do that. I'm gonna be 100% with you. That's him. He knows how to sew. Well, I guess I know the stitches like baseball stitch and things like that. That's how you do. That's how you do hides against the mold is baseball stitch basically. But you're sewing fur, so you got to pull the fur out, and it takes a certain touch. And it's tiny. And I got fat hands. You got these little squirrels that you're working with. I am curious though. You got my mind racing on it, Micah, Mikado. Either way, you got me thinking. So hey, but double tap that like because we need to keep moving. But yeah, man, if Oak stick around, we'll see if Oak Ridge comes back, and if we can't get him to give us an idea of what something like that would cost in his shop. That's a cool thing just to know. Yeah, I bet the taxidermists are kind of pretty free to turn down business at will these days. They did it for cheap for a long time, I think. So it's now time where guys are going to start trying to make some money because I think it was more of like a service that these guys perform for their friends for a long time, being a taxidermist in the community or whatever. So it was a couple $100. They just broke even or made a few extra dollars. But now it's very specialized work. You got to know what the hell you're doing. I would definitely call it a very skilled trade. But in the past, because these guys are rural folks, not always, but they are. I mean, there's ones that work for biological labs up, in different areas that are not rural at all. But they're, here I am worrying about exceptions. Most of these guys are rural, so they're doing this in their community, like I say, as kind of a service, and it's fun to them because they've always dealt with animals in the outdoors, so it's no big deal. So this is just the way I see it now. And in this day and age, there's a lot more people and a lot more hunters and a lot more animals to process. They're going to be able to be choosy about what business they take, how much they charge, and actually what clients they even take in the first place. Because you have to probably turn people away at the door a lot. Not many people are willing to do the work that requires. It's a lot of work. Let's go back a second in the chat. Soldier Farm said, Wes, how's the carving? Miss Heather says, what I'm hearing is that Pilato's got up his bothering game. Mikado said, to be fair, dude, only close squirrels, so he's an expert. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's, of course. Yeah, that's good. He's close to you. Wes Does It says, terrible soldier is kicking my butt. Soldier Farm said, right, Heather. Wes Does It said, taking the day off from it. I don't blame you, man. Soldier Farm said, Wes, you got this. I believe in you. Wes Does It said, LOL, low level disruptor, Mrs. Heather. Mrs. Heather said, that's pretty spot on, Wes. Kevin L said, out of all my taxidermy stuff I have on the wall, the earliest I got a piece back was 6 months. Most always a year wait. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I never knew anyone growing up that thought that going to the taxidermist was a small thing. Most of them, if they went out hunting and they went, I guess like on their first kill, they would get like the legs if it wasn't a big animal or whatever. And then after that, unless you got some kind of a trophy buck, that's the only time you're really going to the taxidermist. Even my cousins and family members and things like that. The taxidermist was a special occasion because it was very expensive and a long wait usually. All right, so let's place this button in the right area, which is going to be about right here. Once we place the button, then we can place the button hole. Yesterday, I should have probably done that the other way around. Wish I had my other awl, and I don't know where it is right now. We'll take this and go like this. I want to be able to see these holes on here, though, I need my readers, dude. How come I always have reading glasses in the places I don't need them? All right, now I got them. I'm good. I'm gonna find them. I'm gonna find those on the wrong side. That'll help. Okay, where the heck did I put them now? Can't find. See though, when you're dealing with leather, the holes will close up now. I think dang, I lost it, y'all. This is what I do all the time. What I was doing right there was making sure that the hat has adequate ventilation. A little bit of pieces of panel in there. All right, so I'm gonna do what I did yesterday because I didn't really Google how to do this. I just kind of jumped in head first. It's one layer of buckskin, so I can do it with these are like mattress needles. And I got 2 needles on here so I can lock the stitch. Like I haven't really figured out how to lock one needle stitches very well by myself yet without. Right next to it. I know I got a lot of thread here for this, but I wanted to have extra so I can tie it down pretty tight, go around a few times. Now I got enough that if I pull this tight, I got a lock, right? Can y'all see all that? Now I'm just gonna reinforce that. Tyler said I got my first buck and 2 other big boy done. That's it. Yep, that's right. That's pretty much it, man. Nobody I don't see at least normal country folk, not the rich ones even though they're even more picky about their trophies. They don't even like I'm not a big fan of the trophy hunting, you know. Hunting for trophies. I believe in the use of the animals, so but yeah, the rich people they won't even shoot at anything that's not a. Some of them like symmetry, some of them like gnarly. Like that rack that I have on this European mount over here, which you know is the only one I'm gonna have. That is a gnarly looking guy. It's got asymmetrical rack. And, you know, one side's got the one little extra tip. I did a rawhide button on the front there. These ones I've done with waxed linen thread. Pilato must be a trophy hunter. He's leaving now. All right, get out of here, man. Jeepers creepers. Hat. Yeah. Yeah, man. A lot going on with this hat. Jeepers creepers. Where'd you go? Come on, go through. There we go. Oh. I'm gonna come back up and do one saddle stitch here too. If you're new here, this is not just a hat I made from random ragged looking materials. I made those ragged looking materials, so I'm very proud of them. You know. So they're not, oops, sorry about that microphone. I gotta be careful when I'm moving it all around like this. Oh, the whole clip came off. My whole microphone clip came off. I have to steal one from the other one real quick. I'm holding the microphone like Bob Barker at the moment. All right, here we go. Try the other side, maybe. Right there. Can you hear me? Check, check. I am risking my fingers. But I'm doing better. I'm getting better about the safety of it. I'm kind of like, I get a feeling like when I'm pushing too much behind the needle, like there's material there and it's not going to let me through. This button is pretty tight. I should probably go through here and just tie it off. I need a liner or sweatband in this hat still. I got to make a circumferential stitch. And then I'd like to make something to go like, I don't know if it was Kevin or someone else that mentioned doing a rawhide braid around it. I think that would be nice as well. So There's other things to do to it, but I'm just doing them gradually. I'm an incrementalist. You guys know that. Nothing on Dad's workshop or on my YouTube channel is like one. Well, most of it's not. I'm not gonna say nothing. Most of it's not one day projects. Long term type stuff. All right, next thing, I probably will have to re-thread that needle. I just did an overhand knot. We'll find out if that works in time, won't we? Oh, that's the other one. Now this one here, I need this buttonhole to be about right, about, well, it's kind of unfortunately right in the middle of that, or it can be right there, which will put it, yeah, in the middle of this patch area, which is only sewn in on this side, so it's gonna need stitching there and stuff. So what I'm hoping to do here now is I'll put a buttonhole down here. We'll make sure that that fits here. Then I'll do the whip stitch around the buttonhole and stuff like that. And then we'll just chat. What's up, everybody? Hey, Rob's back, or Rob was here. Crocodile Dave, what's up? How's everybody doing? Yeah, we'll make a buttonhole here, and I'll put it on my mold so we can you guys can watch. This is like a combination woodwork, leatherwork deal. This is the way I do it. I don't know if there's like an official method to this. Again, I didn't Google this one. Sometimes I go with intuition. Hey, Woodshed by Dan with the Flex membership Flex. Thank you for your membership. If you are interested too, please become a member. We do all kinds of stuff. I always make my videos members first. So yeah, that's my deal here. But welcome, and thank you, Woodshed by Dan, for your 8 months of membership. I know there's a few of those. There's a few members in here. I have very loyal members. I'm very, very appreciative to you all. Now, I do feel an obligation to provide content, regardless of the way that the things have been recently. You know. Croc equals Leanne. Uh-oh, what was that? Wish I could prop this up so y'all can see this a little better. I'll tip the camera down, actually, is what I'll do. Just a smidge here so you guys can see what I'm going to do. And I want to make sure my placement is just right on this. This one over here, when it pins up, is right there. So really, it should be like right there, but it puts it between these two pieces of fabric, and that's a dilemma. Maybe right there. And I can make it smaller, right? Because basically, once I hit it with the chisel, you know, I guess I could just sew over it and try it again. We'll do it like that. That's what I think, right? Dang, man, it's like right in the middle. It's such a weird place. Yeah, we'll put it right here and just deal with the fact it's a little asymmetrical with the other side. How about that? A little asymmetrical. Maybe move it up a little bit. Right here. Grab the mount. Yeah, I'm all the way through. We're going to give this a shot here, and if I have to stitch these down, that's fine. We'll just deal with that. I don't want to place a button in a bad spot and then not. Wow, that's tight. That might need to be a little bit longer. Yeah, let's make it slightly longer. We'll take the chisel right here, put it about right there. That's what I think. The buttonholes always have to be like it does. You never like make them the right size. At least I haven't. Hey, please tap that like button if you're getting something out of this. I venture for that. That's what I was telling somebody the other day in a conversation. I said, and I said this to other people. My goal is to educate, entertain, and inspire. If I can do one of those three things, then I'm gonna I'm gonna keep doing it. If I'm talking to myself, you know, eventually I'll stop. But I'm pretty stubborn. I was a teacher, so we talk to ourselves all the time. Many of them are pretty patient too. I'm not anymore. Now there we go. Button effective. Now this needs to be sewn down here. Obviously that's been needed to be done for a while. And then a little patch right there. Stitch that, stitch this. Oh, did he say Crocodile Dave? Crocodile Dave? Crikey. There you go. That was just for Wes. And Rob, actually. I think Rob would like that Australian accent as well, since he knows how accurate my accents are. Oh, look at that, dude. He's got to have like that you know. No insane. I can tell you that right now. Dude, I like that hat a lot. Look like Francis Mary and the Swamp Fox. There you go. And see, you can flip up. You got one side. Just imagine. Just use your imagination. This is you. You're in the woods. You're owning it. You're owning that the fact that you're some sort of a swamp guy. You know, you're out in the woods. It's the story the hat tells. You know, you got to understand. You know, it's not going to lie about it. You can tell the true story. The guy that wears it, first day he wore it, killed the squirrel. I killed it. I am about to eat it. So it is not a lie. The hat is not a lie. It's telling the truth. Why is Heather not making me? Oh, Heather loves the hat. She loves it. She's totally into it. I want to make another one though, wet form the whole time though. I think that it actually would look really rugged and not goofy like it looks now. If it was all wet formed, I didn't try to put a panel on the top. I got to make a new negative form because my negative form is too large. I cut this back off. I know it looks horrible too. I got to figure out a way to deal with this excess material, but it's precisely cut off to fit my head now. So now with the headband, so if you got a sweatband inside of it, it fits my head. And if I was to make these things for someone else, whichever by Dan said that hat is totally cool, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that. Whichever by Dan. Yeah, it's very kind of you. And but the next one though, it will have a solid top. And I was thinking even for this squirrel hat that I'm about to make, for the squirrel hat, if I take buckskin and wet mold it under it, it'll be waterproof. So the squirrel hat you could be in the, because Wes was asking, is it warm? I was like, if I wet form, yesterday I thought about that question a long time. If I wet formed a buckskin interior lining to that hat, it would be very warm. That squirrel fur would become extremely warm and also breathe at the same time too, because buckskin breathes. That's why it's amazing material. One of the many reasons why it's an amazing material. Awesome material, buckskin. Nevzat Yanar, welcome. Put it on, oh Skinner of oh, put it on right now. I will absolutely do that. With the glasses off. When I'm hunting, and when I went out hunting, I had it like this. Don't hate, because the squirrels can recognize. So it's over my face and eyes. If I'm needing to, I'm unbutting the front. You know, kind of hard to do from the hat. Man, I made these buttons tight. There we go. It still has that little bit of sombrero bounce to the front. That's right, pioneer style. And it's enough space inside of it. It's giving me protection from the sun. It's fooling the animals. It kind of has that little kepi shape to it though, like Civil War capish. I would not do that again. You know, if I could do it again. But you know, you live and learn. This is my first hat. Yeah, the buttons do hold. The buttons do hold. And if I hold all the buttons and put them up, I mean, it looks interesting. It's an interesting looking hat. You can do it Aussie style, whatever it is, especially if you are actually out, you know, firing something. It keeps out of your eyes for that. That's important. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate that. And that is true, Wes. I have to put the hat on, and I need to do that in my long form video too. That's really important. Got to remember that. Got to end or start it with that final shot of it, right? I give it 2 thumbs up, said Kevin. I appreciate that. Verena said that was nice. Appreciate you, Verena. Make sure you do subscribe though. This buttonhole needs to be stitched. What I need to do, I actually probably can do with one of these if I just thread a needle onto that other side of it, because I don't need long. I've been struggling with these buttonhole stitches. It's basically just a whip stitch. I just have not been able to tie it off well. I've been struggling with where I should cross over. You know, if people know stuff about this, feel free to chime in. This is all a learning process for me. And I'll zoom in if I can even more on this exact spot that I'm about to work. Maybe I should do what I've been doing and do a 2 needle stitch, like and lock them in. Maybe that's the way I need to approach this, because I have not been successful with this just yet. That was a little shot. I should have used my wing divider. Actually, that's pretty close. And just to be sure, you'll go through. Oh, I gotta go a little further. Yeah, I gotta go a little further. So I'll just replace this in here like this. Just kind of line it up with the bottom. Cross stitch would look awesome there. Yeah, I agree. There's some. Dang, I should have. I did something. I'm a little offline right there. That's why I used a wing divider. If I would have done that both sides here, it's kind of tapering inward there. And that's why you don't do that. I like that. Cross stitch would look awesome there. Good tip. What I'm going to try to do here is a whip stitch on each side. We can't cross stitch over this because I need the button to go through, right? So, but you could whip stitch cross it, like what I was trying to do here. I was experimenting with different whip stitches here, and you can do a cross style whip stitch where you stitch back. Matt B. Fishing, welcome, and Bernard Pierre, welcome as well. Thanks for being here. Make sure y'all subscribe too, so you guys can get updated and stuff. I'm always doing different. I'm not trying to always do different stuff. I'm trying to do the crafts that and you know, do the woodwork, leather work, the basic crafting I need to create the items around me that I like. That's what I'm always doing. I told people one of my next goals on the channel was to build a knockdown shed with joinery, right? Kind of like I did the bunk bed, but I haven't gotten to that. But I still have that as a goal. So we jump around in here from different skill sets. I try to make this channel. It's not that I'm not. My niche is that I want to do it from scratch, everything from scratch, man, you know? And Dad's workshop, it's all about that. We like scratch stuff here. As much as possible, we do fully acknowledge that it's not always possible to do that. Sometimes you got to buy stuff. One thing I'd like to do in the future is learn to forge knives and stuff. I'd like to have a forge, but right now, I think I could really only do that in the winter here anyways. It's already too hot in here. I couldn't even imagine putting a 2,000 degree, 3,000 degree blast furnace in my already hot space. So we're going to go ahead and put 2 needles on this thread because I haven't had a lot of good luck recently doing these stitches with 1 needle. Not because I want to stitch with both of them the whole time, but because I want to do a lock stitch easily and be able to go back and forth to it if I need to. So I'm going to thread this. These are both like upholstery or mattress needles. They've got sharp edges, sharp tips on them. Probably not the best thing for this type of leather, but I lost my Glover's needle, so I'm stuck with them. Can't see that tip at all, too. No, that wasn't bad. All right. And then these holes will have to be, I have to reinforce it. There's going to be times where y'all are going to see me push the awl through as well because, you know, the hole closes up. It's skin, you know. What I've been trying, and I don't want to keep trying the same thing, failing and then expecting it to be different the next time, is I've been trying to do one basic back stitch or saddle stitch in the beginning and then going with the whip stitch. But I have had a hard time with it wanting to, I haven't done 2 needles before now, so. All right, now I should be pretty much locked now. So I might want to go through maybe one more time. This will be the thread that I do for this right side, basically. A lot of stuff going through that right now. And then these little flaps on the edges, I really should have done all that first. I didn't. What the hell I was doing here? No, don't want to do that. There we go. Get out of that thread. I'm gonna pull this tight here. I might take this needle real quick and go through and do one whip stitch back into that gap. This is where I started getting confused yesterday. I was like, how do I keep the whip stitch consistent without having these lateral ones in the way? And it's not probably rocket science, but when you're on live stream, it's kind of hard to think about that and maintain your composure at the same time. But definitely, like someone said a minute ago, with the 2 needles, I probably could do like a cross-shaped stitch. But I want to be consistent here. I want to awl this out. I don't want to be too complicated and make this too difficult. You end up with a copious mountains of thread everywhere. You don't want that. No, that's not going through. Yeah, they already started closing. Lost it. There we go. And this is the problem with not having a Glover's needle. It's not wide in the middle, so it doesn't push the leather out. So you have to pull it through. The best thing to use is like a Leatherman to do that. Don't use the tip of the awl. I just do that out of necessity sometimes. Hey, do double tap that screen and like this video. What I'm doing right now is actually just whip stitching the buttonhole on this buckskin hat that I made. So if this is of interest to you, if like crafting your own stuff is, please like this video and also subscribe to the channel. Now you got to be careful how tight you pull these too, because then it'll like pull the fabric uneven, or in this case, leather. Leather's not a fabric. Ooh, I got that one on the first try. How am I sewing football? Well, I guess football is a they call it a baseball stitch, which we've done on this live stream before. We did that when we did the handle for the axe. There's one right here though. Can't see if there's another one in the middle. I think there's one right here. Yeah. Now the way to do this, I think, would be go all the way back, and then you can make X's basically out of these if you go back, but you can't pull it super tight. Or I could come down with the other needle and do X's, but that's essentially my first stitch kind of there. Rob said, for the record, it's more of a Silence of the Lambs Buffalo Bill kind of vibe. It puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the hose again. Oh, that's so kind of you, Wes. Or not Wes, excuse me, Wes. Excuse me, Rob. That's so kind of you, Rob. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I do believe that there are times where I feel like we're in the basement of this platform we're in, and it's telling us to put the lotion on our skin again, or we get the hose. Definitely feel like that sometimes is our place here. Sorry that I misappropriated names. That is my apologies. My ADHD brain, and I actually call my kids by the wrong names, unfortunately, whether or not that's excusable. Yeah, I did that last time I was in the YouTube basement. Like I went on a rampage where I was telling myself it puts the lotion on the skin or it gets the hose again. Oh, got myself stuck there. Yeah. This is tricky. This first one. Like I said, this piece of buckskin here needs to be stitched independently of this. So we'll do that separately. Every time I hear that Tom Petty song, man, I think about the opening scene of that movie, man, Silence of the Lambs. Every time I talk about that movie, someone's like, "I've never seen that movie," and I'm like, "How could you? How?" And that person last time was Heather. She has not seen that movie. Film school graduate Heather has not seen Silence of the Lambs. See if she chimed in on that. I agree. Roddy, yep, 3136 says this looks like the cowboy hat Leatherface would wear in the movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Maybe. I accidentally called you Wes, Rob. I just because Wes's name was also in the chat at the time, so my brain just misplaced one for the other. I was reading the chat where you were, and Wes was also in there. Wow, Matt B. Fishing, it says, I'm in the process of making a stingray leather fishing license holder. I do know that most taxidermists I know do not deal with fish, including Oak Ridge, who I do not believe is here anymore and hasn't been for a while, but I do not believe he does fish, but he can clarify. But yeah, that's cool, man. And I didn't even know you need a physical fishing license anymore. With hunting licenses now, they're all on our phones. If the game warden comes, you just pull your phone out, you know. I had a hard card license for a few years, but now you can pay extra for them, and I'm like, why would you do that? They can look you up. It's pretty simple. But it's cool, man. People like the hard card. They be like, "This is my fishing license," and they don't have to worry about it. Their phone can be dead. They don't have to worry about the game warden. They just hand it to them like they used to back in the day. I understand. I like hard cards too. That's why I got one, even after they were probably obsolete. I still had one. I need to find what I need to do here is I need to tie these off, both of them, because that's actually not a bad button stitcher right around that area. But now I gotta get them to a place where I've got them near each other. Okay, so let's do this. And that if I can do the stitch around the edge that good, it looks like it will hold together the leather and the cork, so I won't have to worry about the durability of the hat as much. There we go. That's a me winking emoji. He wishes he was a Wes. There it is. Wes Does It says, I have a hard card too. Yeah, Wes Does It is a fisherman as well. In Kentucky, you must carry the proper license or authorized printout. Oh, nice. Nice. I like that, Matt. I like that. Because you know what that does is that makes it so I'm free of my phone, man. If I'm out in the woods, I really don't even like to have my phone. So there's an argument for that. Definitely an argument for that. Yeah. Oh, here in Virginia it doesn't make sense because they don't require it, or because they don't. Is that now they're even you don't even meet the game warden unless you have a bear, I don't think, or an elk. Like everything is done like over the phone. The check-ins, they don't have the staff, so uh, it's like nobody ever wanted to see my cool license, and so I just kind of felt like wasn't worth it, but. Back in the day, they would print them up for you for nothing because they required it. I mean, at least the printed part with the tags on it. And I had one of those for years, like, with your little cutout tags and stuff on it. I think my dad is the only commissioner of agriculture in the state of Minnesota's history to actually get caught fishing without a license. Pretty funny. And it was the day he got stung by this catfish too, like through the hand. He was a bullhead. We had a lot of those in Minnesota. I don't know if you guys know about bullhead catfish. They're horrible. They taste not so good either. And interestingly, up there, that's like considered good eater. Well, not really, because they have walleye and northern pike, which are way better eating fish, and trout. But I don't know that much about fish. I did fish a lot as a little guy. Yeah, that's right. He did get stung twice on the same day, so to speak. Yeah, whoever got him, man, was real happy with themselves. Technically, an employee of him too. You know what I mean? So it was a humbling experience for dear old dad. Made the newspaper. The irony. Yeah, so nowadays I got my dad himself a license. I went through the process of helping my dad get his lifetime hunting license in Virginia, so that I don't have to worry about him carting me around someplace with his bad luck. You know, you got to at least, I don't know how it is now, but it used to be you couldn't even go on state hunt forest land without a state forest permit. And so if you don't have a hunting license with a state forest permit, you got to actually pay the state forest. You got to go through the process of getting a permit from a day use permit from them. It's a pain in the ass. Nobody does it. So why would I do that? I wanted my dad to take me out to certain spots to turkey hunt, and I didn't know anyone else that would have the time or the ability to do that. Some pretty remote spots. And he took me out, but I basically we had to make sure he got a hunting license first. Basically, you can't even drive back on these state forest roads without a use permit. So yeah, try to follow the law. I always try to follow the laws and stuff. Even with the squirrel stuff I'm doing recently, it's all about following these laws. I even got my license the other day again renewed. I didn't even need it. I just to be sure. If I accidentally stepped off of that land for 1 second, you know, a good eye, a good eye. I gotta wait till my lag catches up. A good eye. And now I can see it. Rugged, rough, a first time, maybe all of that. I'm gonna put a whip stitch on the outside. It's gonna make the edge look a little better. I can also press it with my mold to get the bill flat. But I'm not really worried about a flat bill either because it's just not that style of hat. It's more of a lazy kind of, I'll call it like a outlaw hillbilly-ish kind of a hat. I agree with y'all. That is the vibe of it. I'm not gonna even try to lie and say it's not. If the shoe fits, wear it. Wear it. Yeah, I haven't made a single payment since I got my marriage license. Licenses are, to use different stitches for different hides. Um, yes, you're going to use a different stitch when you stitch furs than when you stitch leather. And then depending on like I made a handle I had an ash handle and we did the back of it. That's a baseball stitch. And you can use, curved needles for those kind of stitches and stuff like that. Yes, I varied the kind of stitches I use functionally to fit the situation. And because I'm not an expert um, seamster, I'm just practicing. But mostly I'm using like this is all saddle stitch. All of that is saddle stitch, which is a 2 needle stitch. What do I do with my 2 needles, by the way? Um, that's all saddle stitch. Most of this is saddle stitch. And then there's a couple times where I did a little French stitch, and then these are whip stitches. Um, and the hat looked good to start, and I definitely did too much, but that was part of the process of learning. I think I had to learn what can and can't be done. Wet forming worked, but it needed to be at a different size. So, do I use a thimble? Yes. At the moment, I've misplaced my thimble. Yes. Yes, I have you because when you push the needles through, especially these, yeah, it'll hurt your thumb if you don't have a thimble. I also have these little leather finger gloves to use. Hey, let's get up to 30 likes, man. We've been on for a while. I'm gonna put some cement on that right there, and then maybe stitch it a little there. What I do with I could probably use a 1 needle. I'm gonna take some rubber cement though, and do that with that, and then we'll add another piece of. I'll have to add another piece of buckskin, or the sweatband will go around that area. I generally do use a thimble, yeah. hello. Okay. This is under a lot of stress. I can see cork is like ripping up in this area. So I'm gonna wanna figure out a way to stitch this down here because it's under and then now it's being pulled up by the button, so it's even more of a important that I find a way to get this down here. And maybe that the sweatband gets stitched up here as well. Might be what we do with that. Crocodile Dave said, "Hello, Heather. It's Leanne." DT says, "Smash that like button. It's free. Double tap. Please double tap that screen. Let's get up to 30 likes. I mean, it's just a moderate amount. It's not even a lot of likes, y'all. It's not even that many. But you can help me out and make my day and make it up to 30. I gotta wait for this to get tacky here. I mean, the hat's already tacky, but right? But I gotta wait for that to get tacky. So it doesn't take that long. It's not like 5 minutes. Man, where's Mike Osborne been, dude? Hope he's all right. Oh, surgery. That's right. And with the drum rolls. Ceremonial. I should do Dave's ceremonial drum roll for flexing his 8 months. There's a lot of people who could be flexing their months in here. Wes has been a member for a long time too. Plywood's been a member. He was the member with 2 accounts for a minute, and he's been a member for like 8 months. Let's go back. Whole bunch of people in here were members. Woodshed by Dan's been a member in here. He was the flexor. Pilato's been a member forever too. That's an in absentia drum roll. All right. Now, if I can get a clip or two on here, we're gonna clip it. It's okay, Rob. You're family, anyways, buddy. There's a lot of hey, look. There's a lot of people. Mike Osborne was fam for a year before he even, and he was on like fixed government income. He was like that, and we never thought anything. You're still fam. Wes is a member. Rob is. You guys are even if it was a member. She sells seashells by the seashore. I appreciate all of you. Everybody, it takes all sorts. Not everybody can be a member. I can't afford to be a member of a lot of people's channel. I can't afford to really be a member of anybody's channel, to be honest. I try to spread it around, and I mean, there's in some circumstances, there's people who have unmembered for me recently. I don't blame them for doing that. It is. And if the content's not interesting to you, hopefully it becomes interesting. You circle back around. I'm trying to change my mentality about it. It's it's appreciated, but it's not expected. Okay, it's not expected. Night Owl Recording Studio 6437 said Aerosmith is awesome. Great job. I don't know where that Aerosmith is awesome, man. Great band. I don't know where that would come from though. Very interesting. Rob, you are valued and appreciated. Okay. Can anyone really not afford to be to not be a member? Hey, that's what I say. Let me turn this so straight. Everybody living life at a diagonal angle. All right. So now we got this glue. We got it pinned there. I'm going to pin it here too. And then I've got other spots on the other side that probably could use a little bit of glue. I might wait to do that. I won't call it a glue up because this isn't woodwork, but it is similar to that, guys, because you do clip it and provide pressure. Awesome. It was an awesome live stream today. I had a great time. Thank you for those 30 likes. Double tap that screen if you haven't done it. Earn it back in haberdashery and milliner. You'll become a milliner. What was the one I learned the other day? The guys that make bows are called, what are they called? Bow somethings. That was a new one for me. Be a milliner. Hey, Kurt, how you doing, man? Kurt, make sure you subscribe. We're about to roll out for today. I'm going to unbutton these two bills. And, oh, let me remind you what we did, and I'll show you one more time before we roll. Pop back. I usually circle back and show people what we did. What we did was, this is my hat mold here. I got to adjust my negative mold or whatever. This right here has got to be adjusted, but I'm working on this European mount right here. This top one here, oh gosh. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I might have to try a different approach. But this is essentially the mount, and this dowel should be holding on this top skull. Some schmutz in there. Yeah, that's my mount right there that I'm working on. Unique and innovative European style mount. Ooh, don't fall. Oh my gosh, don't fall. Yeah, I don't care about all that other stuff. I'm just trying to make it look regular. I've had that 10-pointer for years, over a decade. How's everybody doing right now? Everybody doing good? Because I just want to make sure everybody's good before we roll out. Everybody happy? Everybody having a good day? We had a good live stream today. Don't be a stranger, man. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate you, Wes. Appreciate your membership. Night Owl Recording Studio. I have no idea who you are and why you run around talking about Aerosmith, man. Does Aerosmith pay a spammer now? Like personality status, you can make money without even doing anything. And hope everybody is doing well. Make sure you subscribe and pop back around tomorrow. Circle back around. We'll be back and do the next right thing. And I will see you all again next time. Love y'all. Take care. Bye.